Winquist in Cranston is going to detail the officer-involved shooting here this morning. Chief, what can you tell us about what went on here?
I can tell you approximately 9:30 this morning, our officers from our Special Investigations Unit had information that the subject will be delivering a quantity of narcotics to 19 Main Street, which is the address behind me. When the officers observed the suspect in the driveway of that residence, they attempted to apprehend him. The suspect proceeded to try to flee from the area by backing out of the driveway. He struck one of our unmarked police cars. He also struck one of our officers who was attempting to pull the suspect out of the vehicle to place handcuffs on him. The vehicle continued to travel out of the driveway of 19 Main Street, nearly striking a second officer who at that time fired a series of shots to protect his own life at that time. The vehicle came to rest at the location that you see behind us. He was transported to Rhode Island Hospital. He did not receive life-threatening injuries. He's actually going to be released, we're told, in the very near future. He'll be facing a number of charges. I don't have the exact charges right now, but obviously we're working with the Attorney General's office, the state police, which is common for any type of officer-involved shooting situation.
Can you describe the extent of his injuries in your office?
I can tell you that he received bullet wounds. I don't know the exact number, but he underwent some type of medical procedure, and he's expected to be released very shortly.
And the officers?
The officers, fortunately, have already been released. They were treated for minor injuries, and they're back on the investigation at this point.
Can you tell us the names of anyone involved?
Not at this time. Obviously, the officers we're still working, getting statements from them and so on and so forth. I will be able to release the suspect's name once we determine charges and everything like that. We'll release that information at that time.
He might go to court today, or do you think he's still in the hospital? Or?
He's still at the hospital right now. By the time he's released to our custody, it'll probably be after the courts are closed, so more than likely he'll be either held or arraigned this afternoon.
What can you tell us about this drug investigation?
I can tell you that we've had information on the suspect prior to this interaction that took place today. We're alleging that he's been dealing fentanyl, which is a deadly narcotic, responsible for numerous overdoses in our city and beyond. And we believe there is a quantity of fentanyl inside the vehicle. We haven't done a thorough search at the time, but we believe he came to this location with the purpose of facilitating a narcotics transaction.
It looks as though there are quite a number of shots fired and evidence markers. The windows are all shot out of this vehicle? Yes, that's correct. That's not uncommon. Obviously, the officer, fearing for his life, followed his training. Obviously, that's something the Attorney General's office, the state police, and our detectives will review to make sure that he followed proper protocol and procedure. But at this time, it doesn't appear that he was totally justified in his actions.
It does appear?
It does appear, yes, at this time, that he followed his training, his protocol, and was prepared for his safety and followed up his training.
So it was one officer who shot the suspect?
Yes, that's correct.
And the suspect hit the officers with his vehicle?
He struck one officer with his vehicle as well as a person that was in the driveway, not an officer.
Struck them both with his vehicle, not another weapon?
That's correct.
And did he have any guns with him?
Who are you speaking of?
The suspect.
We have not found any weapons at this time. We have not done a thorough search of the vehicle, but we'll be doing that shortly.
What's his connection to 19 Main Street?
I don't believe he has a specific connection, other than we believe he's at this location to deliver a quantity of narcotics.
To deliver. And has the person who lives at 19 Main Street, who perhaps was going to receive the narcotics, has that person been apprehended? Are you searching for that person?
We're not searching for any other suspects right now. I can't comment on that aspect of the investigation.
And there was a flurry of other car accidents around here with a car that appeared to be fleeing from something 2 blocks away.
That's
it was not connected.
Unrelated to this incident.
You had said another person was struck by the automobile that was not an officer. What's the condition of that person?
That person is at Rhode Island Hospital, or at the hospital, I should say. I'm not sure if it's Rhode Island or Kent County. He's expected to make a full recovery, be released shortly as well.
Does he live in the area?
Right? So it's one pedestrian who was hit, 2 officers that were injured?
Well, one officer was struck, one bystander, a non-police officer was struck. The third officer received minor injuries, not from being struck from the vehicle, but just in the course of the incident itself. He's been treated and released.
Was he the one who fired the shots?
Yes, he is. I'm sorry?
It was in effectuating the arrest? Or?
Yes, he was involved in effectuating the arrest.
And he was the one firing the shots who
Yes,
got
that's
other
correct.
injuries?
Minor injuries.
Minor injuries. Okay.
I don't have the exact time frame, but you know, it's someone that was on our radar, someone that we were definitely interested in prior to this incident, and that's what brought us here today.
Does this man have a record? Is he known to you guys?
He has a lengthy criminal history. I don't have the exact details, but you know, we obviously will be bringing some serious charges against this individual.
Does he live in Cranston?
He has an address in Cranston.
And again, this is the only scene, like the other stuff we're not.
That's correct. This is the only scene.
Colonel, when you get a phone call saying that some of your officers are injured involved in a scene like this, what goes through your mind?
Well, the first thing I want to know is how serious the injuries are, and we're very fortunate that somebody wasn't killed here today. My first and foremost thoughts are the safety of our officers, and very fortunate that nobody was seriously injured as a result of this chaotic incident.
What goes through an officer's mind when they feel the need to take out their gun and fire a weapon?
I can tell you that it's a last resort for an officer to have to use that level of force. Something that they don't want to do, but protect their own lives. They have to get home to their families at the end of the day, and I think that they just followed their training. And these things happen in a split second. You know, it's not something that they expect to happen, but we do plan for these type of incidents, and they were ready to do what they needed to do today to save their own lives.
Your officers did not have body-worn cameras, do
We
you?
do not know.
You did say this man has a lengthy criminal history. Can you give us a sense of the charges and convictions that he's faced in the past?
I don't have all that information. I am told that he might have a significant suspended sentence hanging over his head right now, and obviously these new charges are going to be very significant charges, and we'll work with the Attorney General's office if he's a violator or whatever it may be, but this person's a danger to society, obviously. He had no regard for the safety of the public or the officers that were here today, and he believe that the judicial system will treat him appropriately.
Does he have prior drug convictions? Trafficking?
I don't have that information right
Okay.
Do you know violent crimes? Anything like that? You don't have specifics.
To be honest with you, I was just told that he has a lengthy criminal history. He might have up to 15 years suspended sentence over him, so that leads me to believe that he's had serious offenses in the past.
And the bystander who was struck was a man or a woman?
It was a man.
Somebody who lives in the neighborhood?
Someone that was in the area. I'm not sure if he lives at the residence or why he was in this area at the time.
Unconnected to this, though, just walking by.
I don't know if he was walking by, but he was at that residence at the time of this interaction.
There was two officers that were injured, right?
Well, yeah, two officers. One was struck with a vehicle, the other was injured, just trying to effect the arrest.
So you expect to be here for quite some time?
Obviously, we have to process the entire scene. That takes some time. We're obviously doing interviews back at the station, so it's a lengthy investigation, and we don't want to rush it. We want to make sure that every I is dotted, every T is crossed, and it's a multi-agency effort. So we want to make sure that everybody's working together and in the agreement of how we're moving forward. So far so good.
Was the narcotics unit that was here a joint task force between state police and
No,
local? It was
strictly
just Cranston.
Cranston Police Special Investigations Unit.
Thank you, Colonel.
Thank you very much.
I'll try to get more when we have it. Okay.